the weather forecast with C3 Production.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. It's good to have you for this brand new edition of the weather forecast. Moderate winds are likely to blow in the northern part of the country, carrying intense dust particles, and the rest of the national territory will be expecting rainfall with thunderstorm. We will have a minimum temperature of 18 degrees, that is in the west region, and 27 degrees expected in the north region of the country, 24 degrees in part of the south region and the littoral region, and even in the southwest region. For details, ladies and gentlemen, let's go to the northwest region where showers are expected with thunderstorm in the whole region this evening, except in Fundong. The same weather condition is likely to prevail until the morning, especially in Wum and Cambe. Next, let's go to the east region where showers are expected with thunderstorm in the whole region. The same weather condition is likely to prevail until the morning. I advise you to always have your umbrellas and to cover yourself. Let's end now with the far north region where it will be cloudy in the whole region. As you can see, the same weather condition is likely to prevail until the morning, where we'll have a maximum temperature of 24 to 31 degrees. Ladies and gentlemen, with such weather condition, it's possible for you to find yellow millet in the far north region. Have a good night. God bless you.
That was the weather forecast with C3 Production.
Up tonight, Cameroon receives 200,000 dozens of the anti-COVID-19 vaccines from China this evening at the Yaoundé International Airport. The shortest and most challenging term of the 2020-2021 school year kicks off across Cameroon tomorrow. Guillaume Oyonabia, one of Cameroon's finest writers and award-winning playwright, is dead. And Cotton Sport of Garua has trashed the NASPA Stars of Zambia 5-1 in Garua in a CAF Confederation Cup encounter. The details right now. Thanks for watching the 7:30 news on CRTV. I am Moki Edwin Kinzaka in Yaoundé.
I urge you once again to put on your face masks, to wash your hands regularly, and to consult a physician or any other health personnel if you notice any symptoms. This is the only way to save lives and to curb the spread of the virus.
Cameroon's Prime Minister, Head of Government, Joseph John Gutte, is at about now at the Yaoundé International Airport, receiving 200,000 doses of the anti-COVID vaccine offered to Cameroon by the People's Republic of China. The reception of the Sinopharm vaccines indicates an important turning point to the fight against the coronavirus pandemic in the country. Kilian Dandifon is standing by at the Yaoundé International Airport. Hello, Kilian Dandifon. Good evening.
Hello, welcome to the CAMEROON International Airport. In front of me, I see the first carton of the Sinopharm vaccine from China. It is written on the carton, China aid. It is support of 200,000 Sinopharm doses to the Cameroonian government, and the consignment has been brought to Yaoundé through cooperation between China and France, and it was on board a special flight that landed here at the international airport here and traveling about 35 minutes ago. We were talking about the Prime Minister about now preparing to receive the aid from China to fight against coronavirus.
To receive the aid from China to fight against coronavirus. The Prime Minister is still in the waiting room somewhere to come out here. He is not yet here, and the handing over will be done by the Chinese ambassador to Cameroon, Wang Yiwu, who also is in one of the waiting rooms, the VIP rooms here, who will come out any moment from now with the Prime Minister of Cameroon, head of government, Joseph John Gute. And accompanying them, we have the Minister of Public Health, Manoada Malachi. We also have the Minister of Transport, Jean-Ernest Ngale Bibier. We have so many other officials of state who are here because this is something that is taking place between two states, and it is fighting a pandemic that is shaking the whole world. As the event unfolds here, Moki, Edwin Kinjeka, we are going to give you details. Over to you.
And thanks very much, Kili and Dandifon. We're expecting you at any time during this news with details of that important event taking place at the Yaoundé Simbalaine International Airport, where the Prime Minister, head of government, is receiving 200,000 doses of the anti-COVID-19 vaccine from China. The third term of the 2020-2021 school year in Cameroon kicks off tomorrow after a 2-week Easter break. As school goers travel back to their institutions, the preoccupation of education officials is on the respect of barrier measures against the coronavirus. Laurel Bate-Eya visited travel agencies in Yaoundé to find out how COVID-19 barrier measures are respected. Her report.
This is the atmosphere of most bus stations around the central region of Cameroon and the national territories on the eve of the resumption of the start of the third term academic year in Cameroon.
Really hectic. We have so many passengers. I'm not even very sure of the number of buses that will be made available so we can travel. We are all wondering how soon there will be availability of buses.
So many standing in a long line, and I want to go back to.
According to most agencies, they have increased their buses on this special day in order to ease movement of people and goods for better academic year.
We have not increased buses, we are using our normal buses, but we make sure that we satisfy our customers. We don't expect our customers, even when there are passengers or there are no passengers, we don't change our prices. We say the prices for luggage remain the same.
In order to curb the spread of the COVID-19 pandemic in the countries, they are watching closely and they have given strict instructions to passengers in order to make this term a smooth one.
Students and pupils are therefore ready to embrace the last 6 weeks of the 2020-2021 school year after a 2-week break. The third term is considered to be a very determinant one, although it is very short. Derek Alenui visited some homes and schools in Douala to find out just how ready students and pupils are for the third term that begins tomorrow.
At the Bonaberi Motor Park, which hosts several traveling agencies plying the Douala-Kumba, Manfe, Bafusam and Bamenda Road, morning, loaders for the different agencies were fighting for passengers as very few of them were available.
For today, places are they are just empty, dry. It's around from Monday to Tuesday that we have passengers in this park.
Though the ambience is low, there are some students heading back to Kumba where they study, while the younger ones are being accompanied by their parents or guardians.
I'm schooling in GBHS. I'm in Form 1. I came to Douala for holiday, so today I'll be going back to Kumba to prepare for school on Monday.
I'm traveling to Kumba to live by junior brother. He came down for holidays, and since school will be resuming on Monday, so I'm going to keep him back.
The situation in other agencies which ply the Douala-Edeya-Yaoundé highway is much different, as they say they've been receiving parents who either are going to see off their kids or are bringing them back.
One of Cameroon's prolific writers, Guillaume Oyonombiya, is dead. The writer, playwright, and storyteller who made Cameroon proud died yesterday in Yaoundé at the age of 82. Among his major awards was the Grand Prix des Patrons of the 2014 edition of the Grand Prix des Associations Littéraires. Constantine Baum gathered some reactions in Yaoundé and put together this report.
Guillaume Oyonombiya was born on the 2nd of March 1939. He is one of Cameroon's most prolific writers, playwright and storyteller whose works touched the lives of many across Africa.
He is known in the whole continent and abroad for a play he wrote in 1963, Three Suitors, One Husband. The theme that he developed in his play, the reality, the down-to-earth situation that we are facing. And when you look at his play, you can see that he's concerned with the transition from the traditional to the modern.
But he also was a lecturer at the Yaoundé University, and for all his works, he was honored with the Grand Prix of Literary Associations in 2014. The book, Three Suitors, One Husband, is still in the minds of many readers.
I didn't meet him because I would have asked him one question. How can you write French as no other author in Africa and decide to go to England, come back here and to teach English? Why haven't you translated Trois Prétendants, un mari?
His book touched the life of many Cameroonians. He's gone, but his work will live forever.
He died at the age of 82 in Yaoundé. Some of his works are still to be published.
The death of the last surviving minister of this Abubakar federal government in both Nigeria and the English-speaking regions of Cameroon, Senator Victor Mokete, continues to make headline news in the country. He was the first black to be chairman of the Cameroon Development Corporation, the CDC. He was the world's active oldest politician and senator. Charles Ebuni reports on Victor Mokete's contribution to nation building.
18 March this year, the last official public pronouncement by the first black to be the chairman of the largest employer after the state, the Cameroon Development Corporation.
Many still refer him as the last man standing because he's the only person who was alive from the late Tafawa Balewa's government.
V. Mokete was born 3 days after the end of World War I in 1918.
We all know the part he played in the reunification. We all know the years he served in Intel Camp, then later Camp Tower.
A key player for reunification and for Cameroon's oneness, the paramount ruler emeritus of the Bafour people in the southwest region was the world's oldest active politician. A magnate of the agro-business establishment, Mfon Mokete was one of the finest believers that the soil never fails. And part of his legacy too was to see a more and more unified, peaceful bilingual Cameroon in his odyssey of life.
The people of Bamoun in the West region have been in tears as Princess Rabiatu Njoya goes to eternity. She was buried yesterday in her native Fumban. The co-heritor to the kingdom, advisor to the Sultan and prolific writer, leaves a void in Cameroon's culture. Chetembuk reports from Bafoussam.
It is within the strict respect of barrier measures against the COVID-19 pandemic that the remains of the defunct advisor and co-heritor to the Sultanate of the Bamoun people, Princess Rabiatu Njoya, is lowered to rest eternally. The prolific writer, director of culture in the palace of the Sultanate of Bamoun before her celestial exit, leaves behind over 20 publications that will testify to her past and fill the void she leaves amidst female Cameroonian writers. Prayers are said in honor of the deceased, the princess with a big heart, one who spearheaded a foundation that aims to defend human dignity.
The former Member of Parliament and alternate senator for the Mefo and Afamba division, Valera Banda Metuga, has been laid to rest in his native Aboto village in the Ese subdivision in the presence of government ministers, senators and parliamentarians. From CRTV Center, Kwancha Marie Claire Do reports.
The 81-year-old retired senior civil administrator served the country in various positions over the years. After his education in Cameroon and France, where he obtained a degree in economic sciences, the late Valère Abanda Metongo settled back home to work for fatherland, officiating the funeral mass in the presence of some government ministers, senators and parliamentarians. Reverend P. Otu Meda of the Saint Vincent Palotin parish of Yaoundé exalted monarchs to pray for the repose of the soul of the deceased disease and be ready spiritually for death. The children of the disease join their voices to that of some elites to describe their father as a man who was dedicated to his family and the nation.
He was someone that was very humble. He always treat people very well, and I'll miss him.
The late member of parliament and alternate senator for Mefana Famba, who passed on last month, leaves behind a widow, children, family members and friends to mourn him.
Valea Banda Mitogo was laid to rest in a subdivision. The Minister of Decentralization and Local Development has made it clear that there is a difference between what has been called the municipal police and forces of the Delegation for National Security. Minister George Elanga Obam has, in an order, given precision on the activities of civilians recruited by local councils to assist the public in maintaining law and order. Details with Joyce Tata.
Municipal police, a proximity authority to ensure traffic control is fluid under the coordination of the city mayor. They right the wrongs of such drivers who are the cause of traffic congestion in town. The vision is to ensure good behavioral conduct but not maintaining order, as it is a duty of the national security. Political analyst Stefan Zanga explains to us these roles and missions, which need to be clearly stated out to put an end to the mix-up, one which the Minister of Decentralization and Local Development is bent on clarifying. Hopefully, it will help end the inconveniences experienced by city dwellers usually caused by some municipal police. Experts believe it is important a municipal police is well-trained, morally upright, so to better carry out his or her role without infringing on that of the national security, custodians of peace and order. These two bodies all play an essential role in the country to make the land of promise more comfortable for its citizens and strangers.
The ministerial decree ordering council police in the country to change their uniforms has remained topical amongst council executives. While some opine the decision is timely, they however believe there is need to step up the training of those security agents who often assist in maintaining peace. Details with Romeo Kenye.
Henceforth, the municipal police in Cameroon is expected to dress in purple chasubles with the name of the concerned council area attached to the vestment, unlike the usual black. This to avoid confusion with officers of national security. Taken by the Minister of Decentralization dates back to April 7, 2021. It is with mixed feelings that council executives assimilated the order.
The instruction of the Minister of Decentralization is an element of our regulation and must be applied. But it is urgent that the regulation of decentralization be completed.
Municipal police, like the national security, has often intervened in instituting public order. Yet, municipal councillors say there is no law that governs the sector in decentralized collectivities.
We hope that this regulation, if it is completed, will help mayors and collectivities to put on order.
Also known as Awara, public opinion holds that there is need to intensify the training of the council police.
About 3,000 of the 5,000 Nigerian refugees who voluntarily agreed to return home have left the Minawawo refugee camp in the far north region of the country. Governor Mijiyawa Bakari encouraged them to uphold the positive standards acquired during their 7-year stay in the country. We have details with Ayuk John Asho.
With tears of nostalgia, the 750 Nigerians who constitute the 6th contingent of departing refugees of the Minawawo camp in Mayochanaga division of the Far North region bid farewell to Cameroon as their convoy stations at the governor's office in Marwa. On behalf of the Cameroonian authorities, the governor of the Far North region exchanged parting civilities with officials of Borno State and the refugees who have spent 7 years on Cameroonian soil.
They have the Cameroonian behaviors. They are speaking French and English, and they are singing our national anthem, and they will be our ambassador once in their native land.
Amid adequate security, the Nigerian convoy drove through Marwa via Mora to the Cameroon-Nigerian border at Banki, where the Nigerians were warmly received by their authorities and family members.
Muslim faithful in Cameroon are focusing their attention on the National Lunar Crescent Commission to disclose the dates for the beginning of the 30-day fasting period. The faithful say while waiting, they have intensified preparations in order not to be taken unaware. Alice Mbe sizes up the level of preparations in Yaoundé in the following report.
At the As-Salam Mosque in Bastos in Yaoundé, preparative classes on rules and regulations to be respected during prayers and fasting period is amongst the lessons delivered every day.
We began preparing from Shaban month because it leads us into Ramadan period. Ramadan is a period of harvest. We are made to know that to obtain grace from Allah, we need to pray, fast and forgive each other to be pure in spirit.
According to Muslim faithful, they are spiritually and morally prepared.
We are waiting for Tuesday to begin prayers. We are going to pray for peace and for Allah to stop the COVID-19 pandemic.
We are preparing our pap and other meals that will be consumed during this period when breaking the fast. We get up early and pray 5 times per day. We need to eat well. We need meals like corn fufu and beans.
In respect of government's measures to limit the spread of COVID-19 in the country, thermoflashes, hand sanitizers, and the wearing of face masks is being prescribed in all the prayer grounds.
One determining factor for Ramadan is the lunar crescent, which encompasses all the moon. What is this lunar crescent all about? Victor Shiga attempts an answer in the following report.
The sighting of a new crescent moon marks the start of Ramadan according to the Islamic religion, a time for piety and self-reflection.
The lunar crescent occupies a very important place in the Islamic calendar, which is based on the lunar cycle, which is different from the solar cycle. For the lunar cycle, you cannot know exactly when begins and when ends the month of Ramadan.
It is deemed accurate in the sense that it measures the passage of time by the phases of the moon. The announcement of the moon's appearance thus necessitates that faithful adopt special attitude.
Every one of us as believer must prepare himself to fast by living in unity, in harmony with his family and his neighbors and with the world at large.
While waiting for the moon to appear, Muslim faithful are already cutting the i's and dotting the t's ahead of the month-long fasting period.
Despite our efforts, COVID-19 plunged many families into mourning and seriously hampered the functioning of our economy and society.
Health professionals in Cameroon say the objective of the ongoing COVID-19 screening all over the country is to fish out positive cases and treat. But what about those referred to as asymptomatic cases? Let's meet Bordin Sama and his guest, Dr. Frank Amabo, for the details.
Good evening. It becomes quite disturbing getting the latest figures as concerns the spread of COVID-19 in the different regions of Cameroon, confirming the fact that we have had this resurgence of the pandemic in Cameroon. But what about asymptomatic cases? Let's find out from our guest tonight, Dr. Frank Amabo, who is an epidemiologist. Good evening to you, Doctor.
Good evening, Barbara.
With the resurgence of the pandemic in Cameroon, many people are worried about this particular group of persons, asymptomatic cases. Explain to us.
So I want to start by a definition of asymptomatic cases. It's important that we understand that with the COVID-19, it is possible to have persons that have the disease that test positive but did not present any of the common symptoms such as cough, difficulty breathing, or a fever. And this is an issue because these persons constitute a bulk. As mentioned in an earlier discussion that we had, mass screening is an important initiative to be able to identify these persons because these tests are done systematically to persons whether they present symptoms or not and can help us to catch persons that are asymptomatic to rapidly isolate them and thus interrupt the chain of transmission of COVID-19 in Cameroon.
Thank you so much, Dr. Frank Amabo, for being our guest this evening and all those explanations as concerns asymptomatic cases. Our take-home message is whenever you notice any of these symptoms as far as COVID-19 is concerned, don't hesitate to have yourself screened and get to know your status, talking about the spread of the coronavirus in Cameroon. Back to you.
Thanks, Baldwin. A battle against malaria intensifies in the southwest region with the third mass campaign for the distribution of long-lasting insecticidal treated mosquito bed nets that is expected very soon. The Regional Coordinating Committee took the commitment to share the nets in a meeting in Boya yesterday. Larry Fande reports that the distribution will be a stitch in time that saves 9.
The burden is felt by all. 1 in every 10 deaths is caused by malaria, while 3 out of 10 consultations are linked to the same. This 10th mass campaign for the distribution of long-lasting insecticides-treated mosquito bed nets therefore comes amidst an ugly epidemiology context.
40% of our population in the communities don't have mosquito nets. In 2020, 10 women died during pregnancy as a result of complications of malaria. And you can go on and on and on.
In total, over 1 million treated bed nets will be distributed within 116 health areas with no allowance for misuse.
For example, we have a common practice here in the southwest and in some parts of the country, where people instead use the nets to fence their vegetable gardens behind their residencies, and also some of them use them as fishing nets and things like that.
The contingent of the treated bed nets will be distributed by mid to the region's 1.8 million population.
The Minister of the Public Service and Administrative Reform has concluded his working visit to the East Region. Joseph Lay inaugurated a new building which will serve as the East Regional Delegation of the Ministry of the Public Service and Administrative Reform. Gwanmisia Valentine has the details from Betua.
The inauguration of this magnificent building to serve as the East Regional Delegation of the Public Service and Administrative Reform is a befitting finale to Minister Joseph Lay's 3-day working visit to the East Region.
My collaborators of the East Region, the users of the East Region, and the population and Bertois, I would like to make an appeal to them, telling them that this is for you. So you have to maintain it in a very, very good state.
The complex comprises a 1-story structure with offices, a conference and multimedia center. Another building will serve as the residence of the East Regional Delegate. The minister also thanked East Governor Gregoire Mvongo for his selfless commitment during his supervision of the project. The event, which brought to Betua nearly all the distinguished sons and daughters of the East Region, was also an opportunity for them to express their gratitude to the head of state, President Paul Biya, for all he has promised and delivered as projects for them, in spite of the difficult times brought about by the coronavirus.
On the sports now, Cotton Sport of Garua has humiliated Zambia's NAPSA Stars 5-1 in the CAF Confederation Cup. The match, which is day 4 of the group stage, was played at the Omnisport Stadium in Garua today. Cotton Sport is Group B leaders with 9 points. Daniel Ekonde has highlights of that encounter.
Day 4 of the CAF Confederations Cup Group B game pitting Cotton Sport and Zambia's NAPSA Stars saw the former win 5-1 as they forged their path to the quarterfinals. It took the hosts 21 minutes to get going with a Lambert Arena left-footed shot. Then a series of goal-scoring openings came forth, but cutting-edge finishes were lacking. Yet Cotton's urge going forward paid off on 36 minutes when winger Maru Shwaibu chased in an assist from Lambert to make the lead 2-0. Cotton piled under pressure in the second half. Attacker Arnaud Sibiri got the third for the Garoua side from a well-worked ball. Then substitutes Arkansh Ebanza scooped in the fourth and Joel Tombi struck the fifth. Things looked sealed, but Napsa sub Doisy Soko profited from a Banga Binjeme mistake to pull one back. Cotton Sport now need a win from their last 2 games to guarantee a spot in the quarterfinals, while Napsa are already out of the competition.
And that ends the 7:30 news on CRTV. Join Karine Olivia Bit in exactly 30 minutes from now for the news in the French language. I am Moki Edwin Kinzaka in Yaoundé. Thank you for watching.
I urge you once again to put on your face masks, to wash your hands regularly, and to consult a physician or any other health personnel if you notice any symptoms. This is the only way to save lives and to curb the spread of the virus.